about 85% of our land is farmed. About 70% of the land is cropped to corn and soybeans, corn being our main crop. And so these crops do require a lot of nutrient inputs, especially nitrogen for corn. And as a result, our waterways, our lakes and our streams and our aquifers are impaired with nutrients and especially nitrogen. And so this does have consequences for us, both on our drinking water. Nitrate is a regulated drinking water parameter, but also on aquatic life. We have algae blooms here, nuisance algae blooms and harmful algae blooms that degrade the water for aquatic life and recreation. And those nutrients ultimately get into the Mississippi River, where they travel down to the Gulf of Mexico, creating a dead zone, almost 2,000 miles away. And so is the pollution entrenched? Well, it might be, unless we can find ways to make the corn soybean production system perform in ways where it doesn't leak nutrients. And so we know that will be very difficult. The alternative would be a different production system that would have a greater diversity of crops that would not leak nutrients. And so my own opinion is, if we don't have the courage to transition to a system with a greater diversity of crops, then this nutrient pollution is entrenched. So could we integrate other crops into the rotation? So we're not just growing corn and soybeans every year. These other crops might include oats or alfalfa or clovers, or perhaps vegetable crops, wheat, any of the small grains. And when we have what we call extended rotations, where we're growing corn only maybe 1 or 2 out of every 5 years, soybeans are also part of the rotation along with the other crops that I mentioned. We know that will reduce nutrient pollution and also provide other beneficial environmental outcomes. So that is a system that we could look at as an alternative to just the corn soy system. Iowa used to be the top oat producing state in the United States. We grow very few oats now. And so there are organizations and agencies that are willing to help farmers transition to this sort of scheme. The other thing we need is markets for these alternative crops. And so we need to think about that and the infrastructure that's needed to create markets and transport and store these other alternative crops, because most of what we have now is very much aligned with corn and soybean production.